Hello, dear friends. A new Cobra report just appeared full of esoteric clues that I'm trying to interpret. The topic is complicated, but I have simplified it as much as possible. Opinion piece. Acceleration. Situation update. Things are speeding up. The return of light. Green light to intervene. The war was planned on purpose. Ashtar and Saint Germain would be in command. Forces of light want to avoid any conflict. Dark forces violated the Galactic Code. Strange biblical messages in the depth clock. Let's start. Things are accelerating very quickly since the end of September, according to Cobra. Firstly, the physical biochips have been removed, and all that remains is a dead inactive biochip circuit. These biochip residues are also wake points through which the Lker can manifest distorted quantum fluctuations and anomalous plasma generated from some quantum non-space. Non-space. A difficult concept. The Lker also emanates subquantum non-space anomalies through quantum fluctuations that distort the elemental essence around the planet's surface on the plasmatic, etheric, astral, and mental planes. You can then direct and manipulate this elemental essence to influence humankind by increasing or decreasing the amount of quantum fluctuations in various locations of said elemental essence. Quantum physics is based on concepts such as subatomic particles, wave-particle duality, superposition, and entanglement. And quantum mechanics describes how these particles work and how they interact with each other. The Lker would actually be a conglomerate of all beings that were projected into the subquantum non-space with extremely powerful technologies in previous cosmic cycles. The first of these projections occurred at the beginning of time in the first cosmic cycle, when the source realized that something as strange as primary anomaly existed. The source then decided to project a part of itself onto that anomaly to understand and resolve it. And that projected part became trapped in a subquantum anomaly and became the first primordial stalker with Lurker, with more Lurker to follow in later cosmic cycles. Primary anomaly is a term used in the context of elliptical orbits in celestial mechanics and orbital perturbation theory. It represents a deviation of the orbit of a celestial body, such as a planet or satellite, from an ideal orbit. 8. According to Cobra, Horus or Heru and Mother Sekhmet, they have been active for a long time helping humankind and the evolution of this planet. Sekhmet was known as the lion goddess in Egypt. She also appears as the goddess Durga in India and the white jaguar lady in Central America, and as the lion-headed Dakini Senje Dongma in Tibet, or Durga Sekhmet. Horus was known in Greece as Apollo and in India as Satyanarayana, Lord of Truth. In Egyptian mythology, Horus is associated with righteousness and justice, with rebirth and resurrection. The fight between Horus and Set symbolizes the fight between order and chaos. Mother Sekhmet was credited with the power to cure diseases and protect humankind from plagues and epidemics. It was believed that she could bring healing and well-being to those who honored her. Duality. As a result of this anomaly, a part of source turned against itself, and thus duality was born. The primary anomaly with the Lurker was so strong that it hijacked the Antakarana from the physical plane to the higher dimension to some extent, and even the ascended beings lacked an idea of what is really happening in the anomalous universe. The Antakarana represents the connection between the lower mind and the higher mind. In Hinduism, it refers to the connection between the individual ego and the higher self, often associated with universal or divine consciousness. In Tibetan Buddhism, Antakarana refers to a process of spiritual purification and development that involves creating an internal bridge between the ordinary mind and the enlightened mind. The Antakarana is also used in some energy healing practices and holistic therapies as a visual tool used to channel and direct healing energy. Antakarana is believed to help in clearing energetic blockages and restoring balance between the body and mind. Portal or 1111 portal. Through cosmic cycles, Source learned about the anomaly and resolved part of it until very recently it was time to complete the duality through the 1111 portal. It is the most important and exciting journey we have ever undertaken. It is our journey home, and the 1111 is our wake-up call. It is our map for the next 20 years. The 1111 is our bridge to ascension. It is our gateway to the home. For many years, the number 1111 have mysteriously and repeatedly appeared to people around the world. 1111 sightings, which often appear on digital clocks, tend to occur at times of heightened awareness, which has a powerful effect on those involved. They cause a reactivation of our reactive cellular memory bank and a profound stirring of something long forgotten. The appearance of 1111 is also a powerful confirmation that we are on the right path, aligned with the ray of our highest truth. The 1111 is an insertion point for the greater reality to enter the present moment. This door is the transition zone, a bridge between two different spirals of evolution, those of duality and unity. All of these 1111 activations are achieved through a series of sacred dances that are powerful and real. 1111 provides us with an opportunity to bring out our inherent greatness and to be who we truly are. Unknown door. Very soon, an even more powerful door will open that will lead to the definitive elimination of darkness from the universe and also the final liberation of this planet. All information about that door should be hidden for now, except this clue. The theory of special relativity expands the conceptualization of futures and pasts in the cone of futures. It is possible to expand the way the future cone is used in future tense studies, especially by considering various alternative developments of the future and the interconnection between different futures, different pasts, and the present. This version of the future cone could also be imagined as a set of Matryoshka dolls, where all the different paths or clashes of the future are contained in the abstract future doll. However, this alternative visualization, the Matryoshka paradigm, demonstrates that although our vision of the future is expanded, possible futures are still described restrictively. Inverse time. As of September, this future gate is already sending reverse time loops through Minkowski space-time, and this is why events and situations began to speed up. First, the dark forces crossed a certain red line, and in response to this, the resistance began to take action. Unfortunately, what they are doing must remain secret for now, but will be revealed soon. Minkowski spacetime, named after the German physicist Hermann Minkowski, is a fundamental concept in the theory of special relativity, developed by Albert Einstein. It represents a fusion of the three spatial dimensions and the temporal dimension in a single mathematical and geometric framework. In this space-time, events are described in terms of four coordinates, three of which correspond to spatial dimensions, length, width, and height, and the fourth corresponds to time. Instead of the three spatial dimensions we are used to in classical physics, Minkowski spacetime adds a fourth dimension, which is time. Together, these four dimensions form a four-dimensional spacetime. Green light. According to Cobra, the dark forces with their collective actions violated the critical mass of principles of the Galactic Codex. And legally, the forces of light have the green light to intervene on the surface of the planet, regardless of local laws that humanity does not respect at all. The first step in this superficial intervention process was the extraction of all those individuals from the forces of light with too much war trauma or fear to contribute significantly to the liberation process. The time for endless Galactic Council discussions is over. All of these wounded and fearful beings were taken to places outside of this solar system, where they would receive the healing they so desperately needed and could later join the forces of liberation again if they were able or willing to do so. Approximately 80% of the members of all star races were removed from the solar system, along with approximately 40% of the resistance, but the remaining beings are much less afraid and willing to act. Commanders. Cobra adds that Saint Germain was given command of all underground and surface operations, and all forces of the light, not limited to, but including resistance, and the fleets of the Pleiadian, Sirian, Andromedan, Arcturian, and Central races are now under his command with respect to planetary operations. For his part, Ashtar was given command of all space and near-space operations. Saint Germain has ordered the forces of light to begin acting immediately, and on October 5th, the resistance cleared the vast majority of abuse sites in the cellars beneath the castles of the black nobility, rescuing many little ones. The black nobility saw this as an act of intrusion on their private property, feared for their own lives, first time, and gave the order to activate what little they had left. The Pallavicini family rules the Palatine Hill in Rome. They had multiple family branches in Italy and Austria, and an ancestry that ruled Athens and Greece. They have ruled as princes in Genoa, Milan, Rome, and Vienna. They recently married into the German house of Württemberg. The family married into the papal Rospigliosi nobility, and also has a branch in London through the Cromwell family. A statue in the Pallavicini Palace holds a harp that refers to his authority over the system used for mind control and weather modification, radiating the feeling of desolation through electronic systems. Conflicts. According to Cobra sources, the current war was planned in high political circles. The moderate imam of the Al-Wahid Mosque in Milan, Yahya Sergio Yahe Pallavicini, condemns violence in the name of Allah, and advocates interreligious dialogue. He is one of the leaders who participated in a global forum on anti-Semitism at the Jerusalem International Convention Center. Pallavicini says moderate Muslims must help fight anti-Semitism, and that Western governments make a mistake by embracing groups like the Muslim Brotherhood to fight Daesh. The goal would be to expand the conflict as much as possible in the hopes of creating a third world war in alignment with the prophecies of Armageddon. Most traditions interpret this biblical prophecy as symbolic of the world's progress toward the great day of the Almighty, in which God would pour out his righteous and holy wrath against unrepentant sinners, led by Satan in a final global showdown. The Battle of Armageddon refers to the final war between human governments and the Creator. These governments and those who support them oppose God by refusing to submit to his rule. The battle would encompass the entire earth and end human rule. Operations. The forces of light are doing everything possible to limit the conflict and prevent it from spreading beyond the borders. That is why it is of utmost importance that as many people as possible continue meditating for peace in Israel every 4 hours. The resistance has used this conflict as a cover to begin some surface operations. They are now actively eliminating scalar and directed energy weapons. On October 7th, Hamas began its incursion into Israeli territory, attacking many attendees at an outdoor party near the kibbutz of Urim in southern Israel, recounting terrifying moments of gunfire that prompted an immediate evacuation. In recent years, dark forces have also been attempting to create another layer of electromagnetic fence to prevent the veil from dissolving and reinforce the quarantine of Earth. According to Cobra, one of the mental control mechanisms is the scalar network on the physical plane. Resistance operations will continue to disarm scalar and directed energy weapons, which are harassing too many missionaries of the light. You can strongly support their actions by doing a meditation if you feel guided. Express your intention to use this meditation as a tool to counterattack the scalar networks around the planet. Invoke the violet flame from the primary source to plane a circle of protection around you during and after meditation. Ask it to transmute everything that does not serve the light. Strange message. On Tuesday, October 3rd, the depth clock showed for the first time a biblical verse. Someone with access to very high-level information and with advanced knowledge of behind-the-scenes operations began posting coded messages on the depth clock website, which has always been somewhat professional. It appeared in New York and then later posted online. It has been run by a billionaire family since the 80s. What are they trying to tell us? Is this the end of our monetary system? After all, economic collapse would be one of the hallmarks of the apocalypse and of the financial system. The strange message on the Depth Clock website follows a series of signs around the world. This site currently reflects the state of public debt of all countries and people, and the message posted on the website read as follows: And Jesus entered the temple of God and cast out all those who were selling and buying in the temple, and overthrew the money changers' tables. He thus cited Matthew 21:12, which hints at the collapse of the global financial system. On Sunday, October 8th, 2023, another Bible quote appeared on the depth clock at 9 in the morning. In quotes, I was in the Spirit on the day of the Lord, and I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet. It comes from Revelation 1:10 and was removed at midnight. What is this message and why did it appear suddenly? The first option considered is that this site has been hacked by the Chinese. The second option is that it was posted by the site administration and hung for a couple of hours, and that it hints at some kind of impending catastrophe in the global banking system. And it's not just about the banks. A global economic shock caused by commodity prices, which have skyrocketed due to quantitative easing by central banks, the war in Ukraine, and rising protectionism. Therefore, it would be wise to take some preventive measures for a couple of weeks just in case. Have cash in your pocket, food in the refrigerator, and all that, so that later you don't have to wait in a line of 100,000 people at the soup kitchen. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.